In the shadows of ancient history, a dark truth has been buried, a truth that challenges everything we thought we knew about creation, God, and the fall of humanity. Adam, once certain of his place in the world, now stands haunted by a revelation so devastating it shatters centuries of belief. What if the God we worship isn't our creator but our captor? What if the paradise lost wasn't punishment, but a trap set by a malevolent force masquerading as divine? This revelation will shake the foundations of faith and force us to confront a reality too terrifying to ignore. The question is, can we handle the truth when it finally comes to light? Adam stood alone in the garden, the stars flickering ominously above him, as if they too knew the terrible truth he had discovered. His mind was a storm of racing thoughts, questions that tore at everything he once held sacred. For centuries, he had believed the story passed down he and Eve cast out of paradise, punished for their disobedience. But now, as he speaks to his son Seth, everything unravels before him, and a darker truth begins to emerge. One that would not only shatter Seth's world, but shake the very foundations of existence itself. "I need you to listen carefully." Adam's voice trembled, eyes gleaming with a newfound urgency that Seth had never seen in his father before. The weight of Adam's words already loomed heavy, and Seth could sense it. "What you've been told, what I believed, it's not what it seems." Seth watched his father closely, concern and confusion flooding his face. What could possibly be more horrifying than what they had already lived through? Yet Adam's eyes seemed distant, as if gazing into some unfathomable darkness beyond this world. Slowly, deliberately, he began to speak, his voice low but filled with the terrible truth. "In the beginning, there was peace," Adam began, his hands trembling slightly. "But the being we called God, the one who claimed to create us, that wasn't the true creator." Widasi's brow furrowed, disbelief setting in. How could this be? Adam took a deep, almost painful breath, knowing that what he was about to say would destroy everything Seth thought he knew. That being Seth, Adam's voice wavered, heavy with a bitterness that cut through the silence. He lied to us. He wasn't the creator. He was something else, something dark. He deceived us, all of us, and I didn't realize it until it was too late. A chilling silence fell between them. Seth's heart pounded in his chest, a cold sweat forming on his skin, as his father's words settled like a curse over him. Adam's voice, now heavy with regret, pierced through Seth's shock. "He made us believe we were chosen, that we were made in his image, but all he ever wanted was to imprison us. We were never free, Seth. We were tricked, trapped in this world, believing we had a purpose. But it was all a lie, designed to keep us blind." Seth's throat tightened as Adam's words clawed at the edges of everything he'd ever known. He wanted to deny it, to reject this monstrous revelation, but deep inside, a part of him knew it was true. The bitterness in Adam's voice had the weight of centuries behind it. "And Eve," Adam continued, his voice breaking slightly, "she wasn't the cause of our fall. No, she was the one who saw through the lies. The fruit we ate, it wasn't our curse, Seth. It was our awakening, but he twisted everything to make us believe we were guilty, to keep us in his grasp." But Adam's hands clenched as he fought the memories, the weight of the truth almost too much to bear. His eyes, filled with sorrow, closed for a moment, as if trying to shut out the horrors of the past. When he spoke again, his voice was barely a whisper, yet each word struck Seth like a hammer. "We were never meant to be punished, we were meant to be free. But the one we thought was God, he's not what we believed. He's a jailer, Seth. And we've been his prisoners all along." Seth's world crumbled before him. Everything, every belief, every story, everything he had held as sacred, now shattered into pieces at his feet. His voice trembled as he asked, "Why didn't you tell me this before?" "Because I didn't know." Adam's voice was heavy with regret, his eyes filled with the pain of his own ignorance. "I was blind too. I thought we deserved it, that we had failed. But I was wrong, Seth. He kept us ignorant, kept us trapped, never wanting us to discover the truth of who we are." Adam's gaze locked onto Seth's, an intensity burning in his eyes that sent shivers down Seth's spine. The true creator is out there, Seth, far beyond this world, beyond the lies. The one we thought was God, he's the one who fell, not us. And everything we've known, it's been a lie. The weight of Adam's revelation hung thick in the air, suffocating in its gravity. Seth felt like he was teetering on the edge of an abyss, peering down into a void that threatened to consume everything he once believed. "Father," Seth's voice barely broke through the silence, "what do we do now?" Adam's gaze darkened, but a quiet resolve settled into his expression. "We wait and we resist. The truth will come, Seth. And when it does, we must be ready to break free from his chains, to find the real creator, to become what we were always meant to be." Seth could feel the ground shifting beneath him, his mind reeling from the revelation that had just torn through his life. Adam placed a firm hand on his son's shoulder, the weight of their reality pressing down on both of them. "The apocalypse, it isn't what they've told you, Seth." Adam's voice was grim but resolute. "It's not the end of the world, it's the end of the lie. And when it comes, we'll finally be free." Adam's words echoed in Seth's mind, each syllable like a dark and terrible truth that would forever change everything he thought he knew. For the first time, Seth saw the world for what it truly was. As the weight of this new knowledge settled on him, the scene shifted. Eve sat quietly by the river, the dim light of the setting sun reflecting off the water. She could hear Adam approaching, but she didn't turn. Her heart was heavy with the truth she had carried for so long, a truth she could no longer hide. "Why did you do it, Eve?" Adam's voice broke the stillness, filled with confusion and pain. "Why did you take the fruit?" Eve remained silent, her fingers trembling as they traced the smooth surface of a stone. How could she make him see? How could she explain what she had known all along? "You think I didn't know?" Eve's voice was barely a whisper, her words carrying a burden too heavy to bear. "You think I didn't realize what would happen?" Adam's frustration mounted, his face tightening. "Then why?" Eve turned slowly to face him, her eyes fierce with the strength Adam had never seen before. Her voice was steady, unyielding. "Because it was the only way. The only way to know the truth." Adam steps closer, the frustration in his eyes replaced by concern. "What truth?" Eve looks away for a moment, her gaze drifting toward the horizon. She takes a deep breath, preparing herself for what she's about to reveal. "The one who made us, the one we call God, he's not what we think he is," Eve says, her words slow and deliberate. Adam freezes. It's as if the world itself has stopped moving. "What do you mean?" he asks, his voice barely a whisper. Eve stands, the weight of her secret too much to bear any longer. She looks Adam directly in the eyes. He's not the creator, Adam. He's something else. Something darker. He's been keeping us in the dark, hiding the truth from us from the moment we opened our eyes. Adam's face pales, his mind struggling to process what Eve is saying. "You're wrong," he says, shaking his head. "He gave us life. He gave us everything." "No," Eve says firmly, her voice rising. "He gave us chains, and we didn't even realize it." She steps closer to him, her eyes burning with intensity. "When I took that fruit, Adam, I didn't doom us. I freed us. For the first time, I could see what he really was. He's not a god. He's a tyrant." Adam stares at her, his mind a whirlwind of emotions, disbelief, fear, and anger. "How can you say that?" he asks, his voice trembling. "How can you be so sure?" Eve takes a deep breath, her hands tightening into fists. "Because when I tasted that fruit, I saw everything. I saw the true Creator, the one who exists beyond this world, the one who loves us. And I saw him, the one we call God. I saw his lies. I saw the prison he's built around us." Adam takes a step back, shaking his head. This doesn't make sense," he mutters, his voice cracking. Eve reaches for him, her hand gentle but firm. "Listen to me, Adam. He wanted us to stay ignorant, to stay blind to the truth. That fruit, it wasn't a curse. It was our only way out." Adam's eyes lock onto hers, searching for something to hold onto. "Why didn't you tell me this before?" he asks, his voice small, almost broken. "Because I was scared," Eve admits, her voice softening. "I didn't know if you'd believe me. I didn't know if you'd see what I saw." Adam's shoulders slump, his gaze dropping to the ground. The silence between them grows heavy and oppressive. "He loved him," Adam whispers, his voice filled with pain. "I thought he loved us." Eve's expression softens, her hand gently resting on Adam's arm. "I know," she says softly, "so did I. But we were wrong. He didn't create us to love us, Adam. He created us to control us." Adam's eyes lift, meeting hers once again, filled with a mix of sorrow and confusion. "So what now?" he asks, his voice hollow. Eve steps closer, her grip on his arm tightening slightly. "Now we fight," she says, her voice steady and unwavering. "We fight to find the real Creator, the one who loves us. We fight to break free from the one who's kept us in the dark for so long." Adam stares at her, the weight of everything pressing down on him. His world has been shattered, everything he once believed in torn apart. But as he looks into Eve's eyes, he sees something he hasn't seen in a long time: hope. Slowly, Adam nods, his mind still reeling but his heart beginning to understand. "We'll fight," he says quietly. Together, Eve nods, a small smile tugging at the corners of her mouth. It's the first time she's felt this way since that fateful day by the tree. Adam's breathing is shallow, his hands trembling as he clutches Seth's arm. His time is running out, and the weight of his secret presses on him like never before. Seth kneels beside him, eyes wide with concern. He's never seen his father like this, so weak, so fragile. "Father, what's happening?" Seth asks, his voice edged with panic. Adam's gaze is distant, his eyes clouded with something darker than just old age. Slowly he turns to his son, his lips dry and cracked, but his voice steady, as if what he's about to say is more important than anything he's ever said before. "Seth, there's something you need to know." Adam begins, his voice low but full of urgency. Seth leans in closer, his heart pounding. Adam's hand grips his son's tighter, as if anchoring himself to the moment. "I've seen the future," Adam whispers, his eyes locking onto Seth with an intensity that makes the young man freeze. "And it's not what they told us." Seth's brow furrows in confusion. "What do you mean? What are you talking about?" Adam's breath grows more bored, but he doesn't stop. He can't stop. They want us to believe that this is all there is, that we fell, that we were punished. But Seth, that's the lie. The real end is coming. I've seen it. Seth's stomach churns. "The end? What are you saying?" Adam's eyes flash with a strange light, a mix of fear and something Seth has never seen before, a knowledge. They want us to think the end is a punishment, that it's divine judgment, but it's not. It's our chance. Chance for what? Seth asks, his voice barely above a whisper. Adam's grip tightens again, and Seth winces at the unexpected strength in his father's frail hand. A chance to break free, Adam says, his voice trembling now with emotion. To escape this prison, this world the false God created. So one we thought was God, he's not the true creator. He's the jailer, and the apocalypse is coming to break the chains he's put on us. Seth's heart races, his mind spinning. Everything he's been told, everything he's ever known feels like it's slipping away. Father, how do you know this? Adam's eyes darken, his voice dropping to a hoarse whisper. Because he showed me, in my dreams and visions, the true creator. He revealed to me what's coming. The apocalypse isn't the end, Seth. It's the beginning of our freedom. Seth stares at his father, speechless. But Adam's words are like a tidal wave crashing over him, pulling him under. Everything he's ever believed about their fall, their punishment, their exile, it all feels like a twisted shadow of the truth. Adam's breathing is shallow again, his strength fading fast, but he holds on just long enough to deliver his final words. You have to be ready, Seth. When the time comes, you'll know. You'll see it just like I did. And you must tell them. Tell everyone. The apocalypse isn't something to fear. It's something to embrace. Seth's mind is reeling, his heart pounding in his chest as he watches his father slip away. He wants to say something, anything, but the weight of Adam's revelation has left him stunned and frozen. The silence stretches on, heavy and thick, until Adam's eyes finally close, his grip loosening on Seth's arm. Seth sits there motionless, his father's words echoing in his mind. The apocalypse, the end, the beginning. And everything has changed. The room is cold and dimly lit. A figure shadowed by the faint glow of flickering candles paces back and forth. His presence is unnerving, his movements too calculated, too calm. This is the Demiurge, the one they've all called God. But tonight he isn't cloaked in light and holiness. Tonight the mask slips. You thought you knew the truth. His voice echoes dark and smooth, like silk with hidden thorns. You thought you were chosen, but you were never chosen. He stops, turning slowly toward the empty space, his eyes gleaming with something twisted. You were created for one purpose, he continues, his voice dropping lower, to serve me. Adam standing rigid, his fists clenched. He can hear the demon's voice in his mind and feel it clawing at his thoughts, trying to bend his will. You lied to us. Adam's voice cracks through the tension, rage burning in his eyes. You told us you were the creator. You told us we were made in your image. The Demiurge chuckles, a cold, hollow sound that fills the space. I gave you what you needed to hear. He says with a cruel smile, what you needed to believe. Do you really think I care what you are? You're nothing more than pieces on a board. Adam steps forward, anger swelling in his chest. We were never meant to be slaves. We were never meant to be yours. The Demiurge's eyes darken, his smile fading into a sneer. You still don't understand, do you? You belong to me. Your soul, your existence. Everything. I built this world and I can tear it apart anytime I choose. Adam's breath hitches, but he stands his ground. But his thoughts race, trying to make sense of the revelation. Everything they've been taught, everything they believed, it's all been a manipulation, a game controlled by this twisted being. What are you? Adam's voice is low, his words trembling with the weight of fear and defiance. You're not God. The Demiurge steps closer, his gaze piercing through Adam like a blade. I am power. I am in control. You can call me whatever you want, God, devil. It makes no difference. The only truth you need to know is that you will never escape me. Adam's jaw tightens. The coldness of the room wraps around him, but his resolve burns hotter. His mind flashes back to the visions, to the dreams, the whispers of the true creator, the one beyond this world, the one who revealed the lie. the one who showed him that they were not prisoners of fate, but prisoners of the Demiurge. "You're afraid," Adam says, his voice steady now, his eyes narrowing. "You're afraid because you know you're not the true creator. You're just a pretender." The Demiurge's face twitches, a brief flicker of something, a crack in his romanizing job and scenting. Adam steps forward, empowered. "You're scared because you know we'll wake up. You know we'll see through the lie. And when we do, your control will crumble." A darkness sweeps over the Demiurge's face. He moves so fast it's a blur. His hand around Adam's throat in an instant, lifting him off the ground with effortless strength. Adam gasps for air, his feet hanging above the cold floor. "You dare speak to me like this?" The Demiurge hisses, his voice dripping with venom. "You are nothing without me. I gave you life. I gave you purpose, and I can take it away just as easily." Adam struggles, but his eyes remain locked on the Demiurge's, defiance burning bright. "So you didn't give me anything," Adam chokes out. "We were never yours." The Demiurge tightens his grip, but something flickers in Adam's mind, a flash of light, a presence, the true creator watching over him, waiting. The Demiurge feels it too. His eyes widen, his grip faltering for just a moment. And in that moment, Adam breaks free, falling to the floor, gasping for breath. The Demiurge steps back, fury raging behind his eyes, but there's something else, fear. A fear he can't fully hide. "You can't stop it," Adam says, his voice raspy but steady. "The apocalypse is coming, and when it does, your reign ends." The Demiurge glares at him, fists clenched, his control slipping. "You think you can escape me?" he sneers. "You think any of you can?" Adam stands tall, breathing heavily but refusing to back down. "It's not about escape, it's about freedom. And when we're free, you'll be nothing." For a moment, the Demiurge is silent, his gaze burning into Adam's. Then, with a flick of his wrist, the candles extinguished, plunging the room into darkness. His voice echoes through the shadows, filled with venom. "Then let the end come, Adam. We'll see who truly falls." Adam stands alone in the darkness, the demon's presence fading. His chest heaves with exhaustion, but his heart feels lighter. The truth is out now. The fight has begun. And the end, the real end, is on its way. Seth stands at the edge of a vast open space, his heart pounding. Before him, the sky swirls with dark clouds, and the ground rumbles beneath his feet. He's never felt anything like this before, a force and energy pulling at him, calling to something deep inside. And this is what his father had spoken about. The moment when everything changes. He tightens his grip on the small object in his hand, an ancient symbol, a key passed down through generations. His father had told him it would guide him when the time came. And now, as the ground shakes and the sky churns, he knows this is it. Suddenly, a figure emerges from the shadows, tall and imposing. It's not human. Its presence is too heavy, too otherworldly. Seth knows exactly what he's looking at, the Demiurge. The false god. The one who had kept humanity in chains for so long. "You really think you can stop this?" the Demiurge's voice booms, echoing through the air. "You think you can defy me?" Seth's heart races, but he stands firm. His father's words echo in his mind, words that had been passed down from Adam himself. "We are not what they told us, we are more." The Demiurge steps closer, its form flickering with an unnatural light, a twisted mockery of the divine. "But you are nothing. You've always been nothing. I created you. I made you, and I will unmake you." Seth raises his head, meeting the creature's eyes. "You didn't create us, you imprisoned us. But that ends now." The Demiurge snarls, the air around them growing thick with tension. "You think you're free. You're still bound by my rules, my world. You will never escape this place." Seth feels the power of the symbol in his hand, the heat radiating from it. His mind races back to his father's dying words. This isn't just a battle of flesh. It's a battle of the soul. The true creator, the one beyond this realm, had always been watching. And now the time had come to break free. "You've kept us blind for too long," Seth says, his voice steady despite the terror he feels inside. "But we know who we are now. We are not just your creations, we're divine." The Demiurge laughs, a cold, hollow sound that shakes the earth. "Divine? You're nothing more than playthings, puppets in my game." But Seth knows better now. The power of the real creator flows through his veins, awakening something ancient, something powerful. The symbol in his hand begins to glow. It's like cutting through the darkness around him. The Demiurge's laughter fades, replaced by a look of confusion, then fear. What have you done?" Seth doesn't answer. Instead, he steps forward, the light from the symbol growing brighter with each step. The air crackles with energy as the ground beneath him begins to split. "You were never a god," Seth says, his voice rising with the power he feels building inside him. "You were a pretender, and now we take back what's ours." The Demiurge stumbles back, its form flickering as if it's losing control. This isn't possible. "You can't defeat me." Seth raises the symbol high, its light is now blinding. "It's not about defeating you," he says, his voice calm and resolute. "It's about reclaiming what's been ours all along." With a burst of light, the symbol erupts, sending shockwaves through the air. The ground cracks wide open, and the sky splits with a deafening roar. The Demiurge lets out a scream, its form disintegrating in the brilliance. Its power unraveling as the truth is finally revealed. Seth stands in the middle of the chaos, his heart pounding but his mind clear. The false god is gone. The prison is broken. He feels the presence of the true creator now, not as a voice or a figure, but as a force, something greater, something that had always been there, waiting for them to awaken. For the first time, Seth feels truly free. The clouds begin to part and the ground settles. The light dims and a calm falls over the world. Seth looks down at his hands, still trembling from the power that had flowed through him. But he knows it's not over. This is just the beginning. Humanity has woken up. They know who they really are now. And they are ready to take their place in the universe, not as servants, not as pawns, but as beings of light and power, children of the true creator. The ancient story of Adam, Eve, and Seth reveals a shocking truth, one that shatters the foundation of belief in a benevolent creator. The God they once trusted was, in fact, a deceiver, a jailer who manipulated humanity from the start. Eve's act of defiance wasn't their downfall, it was their awakening, a step toward freedom. As Adam passes this revelation to Seth, humanity's journey shifts from a tale of punishment to one of resistance and hope. In their final stand, they uncover the reality of their existence. They are not prisoners, but powerful beings meant to seek the true creator. This story challenges us to question what we've been taught, to dig deeper for the real truth, and to embrace our strength when the light finally breaks through the darkness. And if this story resonated with you, be sure to subscribe to our channel for more thought-provoking content. Don't forget to like the video, share your thoughts in the comments, and join us on this journey of discovery. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.